These are all Pittsburgh artists who have created these works of art, and they are working around the world as illustrators. Look at these things by Lynn Canoy. Look at her view of Pittsburgh. What's the perception of Pittsburgh around the world? Well, this is a lot of it. You know, big steel ladles glowing orange are about to pour a bucket full of molten steel with stacks, Bessemer furnaces belching black smoke, and people working to make munitions and steel implements of every description while coal barges navigate the muddy waters of the Monongahela. I mean, that's what people think of. And yet we know that bassmasters can come to Pittsburgh and fish off the point, practically. It's a very different reality from what the impression, the world's impression is. But here's an artist who's kind of dealt with both. Look at the reflections of downtown in the water, the rippling waters. And here you see the PPG building and some of the other skyscrapers reflected. Over time, things changed and the reality didn't keep up with the myth. The old reality stayed strong. Here's a effervescent, vibrant, dynamic Pittsburgh, but it's still got that stereotypical steel ladle pouring its molten contents over the city. This is John Blumen. This one by Rick Antolic, called Ambridge, American Bridge Company. And here are the skyscrapers of the world. Those aren't Pittsburgh skyscrapers, those are New York skyscrapers looming up behind us. Here's the ubiquitous steel ladle pouring its steel, and here are railroads and steel mills, and here's the heroic steel worker. And here's young George Washington, that near-death experience that he had just north of here in 1753 when his guide takes, his Indian guide takes a shot at him and then makes a break for it. But Washington and Christopher Gist, his companion, run the guy down, and Gist holds a knife to the warrior's throat and is about to cut his throat, and Washington stays his hand and says, "Wait, don't kill him. We don't know who his friends are, and we're all alone out here." So they don't kill him, they take him prisoner, and then they let him go when they reach the Allegheny River and have to build a raft and get across the river. That's where he falls in. He was a tough customer. And here's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It looks kind of like a postcard. And there's the Pennsylvanian in the background, and the city skyline has all been brought into the picture. Here's the Doughboy and Mayor Caligiuri. Here's a steel mill, and look at these powerful locomotives just coming out of that terminal with all of their railroad logos prominently displayed. This is Don Henderson's Evolution. This is an interesting view of Washington by Craig Genyon. Craig calls this Washington at the Point, but here he is. This could be 1753 when he sees the point for the first time. There he is with his birch bark canoe, but look what's looming behind the trees at the point. Well, it's today's downtown. Could he have imagined such a place with its glittering glass and steel and aluminum skyscrapers? Doug Cooper's Pittsburgh on 4 stories. If you look down there, you'll see this story continues down 4 stories. And this is Doug Cooper's view of the visible city, he calls it. He did this between 1992 and 1993. And you'll see amazing detail in some spots because he's doing a lot of this from memory. And this is the Pittsburgh he remembers. And when he talked to his friends and old timers, he then got their views of it. And in some cases, you'll see he's done paste overs where he's let them draw their own impressions, and he stuck it right onto his painting. Well, it says it's a complicated and interesting place, that it's both awesome and awe-inspiring in its vistas, but it's also very personal and friendly. I mean, here we're looking in somebody's window and seeing people sitting on their porch stoop. But here we're seeing, we're looking down from Mount Washington and seeing this panorama unfold beneath us.